Hi, welcome back to Midweek Encouragement. Thank you for joining us here at First Church of God, where we try to take this moment to encourage you for the rest of the week. If you know me, you know that I've done magic tricks off and on for a number of years. And the thing about magic is you want to keep things a secret. Now, I tell all the kids, Pastor Kevin does tricks, Jesus does miracles. I don't have any special magic powers. I can't make your sister disappear or make your room suddenly become clean. But I do know how to fool some people, and that's the goal of magic. It's just like I have with me a ruler, okay? I'm going to take this ruler, I'm going to grasp my hand, and if you'll watch, I can make, oh man, takes a lot of strength and a lot of power. I'm making that levitate. I'm making it stay in my hand with just my secret powers. But if I let go of my hand, it falls down, right? Now, this is a trick that I'm going to reveal the secret, and I know you're not supposed to do that. You go into a magic shop, you're going to see a sign that says the secret is told when the trick is sold, because that's the great thing about magic. It's the mystery of keeping things a secret. So to do that, all I've done is I take my hand, I take the ruler, and I hold my finger right here. Now, some people may even take a knife, a table knife, a butter knife, and stick it in their watch band and do it, oh, one hand, that's really amazing. But I'm just holding it with my finger. Now you know the secret. You go and do that trick. Family comes over, you can use a ruler, you can use a knife, you can use a yardstick. 2x4s don't work too well, but that's just a simple little magic trick. When you know the secrets to how a magic trick is done, for some people, it kind of ruins the effect. They're disappointed when they see it the next time. So keeping it a secret is a big part of it, and it makes it even more fun. But there are things that as a Christ follower, we know that we are not to keep secret. We've been keeping them secret too long. I'm reminded of something that Paul wrote in the book of Galatians, the first chapter, and we start with verse 13. He says, "For you have heard of my previous way of life in Judaism, how intensely I persecuted the church of God and tried to destroy it. I was advancing in Judaism beyond many Jews of my own age and was extremely zealous for the traditions of my fathers. But when God, who set me apart from birth and called me by his grace, was pleased to reveal his Son to me so that I might preach among the Gentiles, I did not consult any man, nor did I go up to Jerusalem to see those who were apostles before I was. But I went immediately to Arabia and later returned to Damascus." There's a couple words there in verse 16. First of all, I jump back to verse 15. He says, but, so it cancels out all of the bad that he had been doing. And then he says, God who set me apart from birth. And then he says, called me by his grace, was pleased. Then, here it is, verse 16, to reveal his Son in me so that I might preach. So that. If you have your own Bible, I encourage you to look at that passage of Galatians chapter 1, verses 13 through 16, but notice verse 16 when it says, so that. I think that if we took this passage, we could personalize it, because God has revealed his grace to you and me. God set you and me apart before creation. Ephesians chapter 1 says that God chose us before creation. So he set us apart before creation. He called us. Maybe we don't feel called to be a pastor or be called to be an evangelist or a missionary, but he still has called us so that maybe not preach a sermon, but share Jesus with others. He called you, he called me. It doesn't matter who we are still called by him to be a representative so that the message of Jesus would be revealed. Not the secrets of magic, but the mysteries of Jesus would be revealed to others through you and through me. So we get to put this scripture into action into our own lives. we have a testimony. Your testimony is how you came to know Jesus as your forever friend. Maybe it was at a camp, maybe it was a church service, maybe it was a friend sharing Jesus over coffee. Wherever it was, you came to know Christ. The old is gone, the new has come. There was a moment where you came to know Christ. Paul had his Damascus experience where God shined a bright light. He was blind for 3 days, and then he started preaching the gospel. He was totally, radically transformed. But if you'll read the writings of Paul, he didn't dwell on all the mean things that he did. He said, yeah, I did that at one time. I was wrong for that, but Christ has changed me and I'm moving forward. He didn't dwell on his past. And our testimony, I don't believe needs to dwell on our past. It needs to talk about what God is doing in our life right now. In fact, I'm reminded of Isaiah chapter 43, 18 and 19. I'm reminded of this passage over and over. He says, do not dwell in the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Don't you perceive it? We can't perceive the new thing unless we start looking for it. And if we're always looking for the wrong thing, we'll never see the right thing. We can't see the forest because of the trees. We need to lift our eyes up. We need to start looking in a different direction. I'm reminded how Gideon, God calls him to be a mighty warrior. He says, God, I'm not a mighty warrior. I am a farmer. I don't go into battle. And he says, yeah, you're the mighty warrior I want. And the men you have, your army, is too big. Wait a minute, God, the more the merrier, right? And God says, I want you just to invite anybody, tell all the soldiers, any of them that don't want to, they're too tired, whatever, they don't have to, tell them back away. So he goes from 32,000 and 20,000 leave. And then he's got this other 12,000, and God says that's too many. Go down to the river and watch how they drink. Those that get down on all four and lap it up like a dog, you don't want those. I want those that cup the water and look up. And God went from 12,000 to 300. God, isn't the secret of a battle to have more? And God says, no, the secret is me. And he sends them with the most outrageous weapons you could ever think of. Pots, torches, and trumpets. I don't know of a time that a trumpet has killed someone. Now, listening to a child learn to play trumpet might have been murderous, but it's not a weapon of war. And Gideon and his men, they surround the enemy, they smash the pots, they blow the trumpets, they raise the torches, and the enemy thinks they're outnumbered, and they end up killing themselves and fighting each other. What God is looking for is people that are looking up and looking at what God is doing. And we are to be sharing the secrets of what God is showing us in our life so that we may share the gospel of Jesus with anyone and everyone we meet. Maybe it's somebody we work with. Maybe it's somebody that we talk with on a regular basis. Maybe it's somebody we're just out in public with. We need to be ready to give the answer for our hope. And when we share what God has done, it shows we care. And when we care, we get blessed in return. So that the message of Jesus will continue to be shared with many more. Who are you going to share with today? Do it in love because God has loved you with an everlasting love. Have a great week.